Welcome back to the Bean Apple. It's week 12. Season's flying by. Playoffs are getting close. We're in those must-win games unless you're just crushing it. And if that's the case, you're you're probably not watching us, right? So the dogs have left because they are crushing it. They're like, we got better things to do. But for the rest of us who like talking about football, here we are, right? So we're going to get through this one, give some advice. A lot of injuries this week. Teams are pretty decimated for some reason, right? Overall, you look at the Rams, especially just destroyed, right? Stafford's out, Kupp is out, Allen Robinson's out. Stay away from that altogether. Looking at inactives and actives, James Robinson is a healthy scratch, which is surprising for the Jets. So Michael Carter against a very bad Bears defense basically gets that backfield to himself. So if you've got Michael Carter, you don't know what to do with him. I just plugged him in immediately as soon as I saw that information. I feel like that's an awesome spot. But we're going to give you all of the advice to help you win. So get your questions in, get your thoughts in. We're going to run through these games, tell you where we would put our money for betting wise. Any DFS questions you have, also get those in. John's a huge DFS player. I haven't played in a couple years because I'm in Washington and it's illegal. Thank you, Washington. But I still track it enough to be able to help out. So with that, John, morning. Glad to see you back.
How are you? Thank you.
And it's just going to be us today. Jim has a prior engagement that he had to take care of. We'll see if he jumps on, if he gets back early. I'm not sure, but we're going to run through those scores, the games, and give you the best advice that we possibly can. I got to admit, I think, again, last week we crushed it. Gave out awesome advice, and it should have pushed you over the edge. Except for me, I got my you-know-what handed to me last week. It was not a pretty week I think it was last week. Yeah, it was. I had the worst possible luck that I could have possibly had. It was disgusting. I think I lost one of mine by like 100 points.
That hurts. That's a stinger right there.
That's
what they call a stinger.
Yeah, when the guy had Pollard and Kelsey. So that helps. That helps a lot. So even though there's collusion going on in that league, and unfortunately I can't prove it, but when the trades that the first place guy has made is very questionable. So and it's irritating. But anyway, off of me, onto you guys. So let's start rolling through this. Bucks at the Browns this week. So we're getting pretty close to the return of Deshaun Watson. So I think it's a 12-week suspension, right?
Yes. So he'll be eligible to come back after this game. Yep. So this should be Brissett's last game as their starting quarterback.
Yeah. So the Brady bunch, Leonard Fournette is. You got me mixed up with Brissett and Fournette. I just created a running quarterback. Fournette is out, right? Yeah. So Tom Brady, kind of coming back a little bit, right? I mean, he's not what he was, but he's not how he started the season, right? Kind of in the middle there. Not a bad matchup against the Browns. So I know you have Brady. Are you rolling with Brady this week?
So I rolled with Dak. He was that was one of the situations where I had to choose between a Turkey Day game and Brady today. I went with Dak because all the numbers scream Dak. His last 9 games, he's 9-0, 21 touchdowns against the Giants. I know it's not this year's team, but I expect a little bit more. I got like 18.5 points, so not bad. I just have a feeling that Mr. Brady, though, is going to absolutely light up Cleveland. Or, everyone's calling this a trap game in Cleveland, too. So, I don't know. I went with Dak. I gotta live with that, and we'll see. But I think I think this Tampa Bay team is going to be a lot different.
Yeah. That's not the worst call, though. 18 points isn't.
No, that's not bad.
That's not bad. That's kind of your target range anyway. If you get over 20, awesome.
Right.
But 18 is kind of your floor.
Yeah.
If you get 18, you're okay. Anything below, like you get 15 or less, and you're just like, oh man,
That's a tough one.
I made the wrong call. But yeah. So and then on the other side of this one, obviously you're going with Chubb, right? I mean, there's no getting out of that one, but they activated. I should say before I flip over, they did activate Gio Bernard. But I think this is going to be like a Rashid White game, right, for the running?
Absolutely.
So should have a pretty good game on the ground. I mean, nice, pretty favorable matchup as well on the ground. And former ASU guy forks up. So I like that play a lot. I don't know if he's available, but that's somebody to pick up. Or, like we said, DFS-wise, that might be a very...
I'm all over him in DFS today. All over him.
So,
he is a whopping...
$5,100. I was going to say 47, but
easy, man. Yeah. I get two receivers that to me can't miss today, but who knows?
Okay, yeah. So like I said,
two running backs. I'm sorry, two running backs.
I don't play DFS, but I'm still tracking it well enough to know where you want to optimize your team. So White is a very, very nice play this week, a nice plug and play, and I'm curious to see where Michael Carter is on the price wise. He's got to be down to what? Maybe around the same.
Let's see here.
5,000.
Mr. White.
Nope, Michael Carter.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry.
And while you do that, there is one guy that I wanted
5,400.
54. Yep.
Which wouldn't be a bad play today at all.
Very nice play as well. So, and I got to give you some props. You called him out a couple weeks ago as one of the guys that you really like, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He has put up double-digit fantasy points for 3 weeks straight and is in another very nice position here. The Bucs defense is not what it was the last couple of years, and he's in line to get another nice target share. So another guy that you could plug in there, probably cheap. I don't think you want to really exploit this game too much in DFS, but if you're looking for a nice wide receiver to plug in there that could get you 12, 15 points. Pretty nice. I really like him. And I actually plugged him into one of my season-long fantasies. So thank you.
Same here. I got him in one of mine as well today. Actually, a couple of mine today I have him. So because I have to. I have to. There's some situations that I have to play him.
Yeah,
I don't like the matchup like you said.
Yeah.
Against Tampa, but...
Yeah, but it's also not the worst, so it could be exploited. If it was Deshaun Watson and the capabilities that he has, yeah, man, you want to.
Yep,
this would be a fun game, but I don't know. We'll see. Revenge game here though for Jacoby Brissett, right?
Yes,
against Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
He wants to beat Tom.
Backed him up. And Brissett, man, he's thrown for just about 2,400 yards. 11 touchdowns and 5 picks. So somebody's going to be calling him maybe to come back him up somewhere, because he knows he's never going to have a chance with Watson there. The way they paid him, the way they did what they did. So, he's in line for probably a change of scenery next year, and he's played well. He really has played well in Cleveland. He hasn't played bad at all. So good for him. I like to see my former Patriot QBs doing well, of course.
Succeed. He's got to move on. If he doesn't move on, he's a backup. So, but he deserves another starting shot somewhere. Like maybe Carolina.
Maybe, yeah.
Might not be a
the
bad.
Jets. Too soon? Is it too soon?
It's way too soon. It's way too soon and way too early.
I'm sorry. You're right. Wrong segment. Let me segue to Alex here. So he has to pick two. I'm going Chubb because I think Vita Vea is out today, and I'm starting Jeff Wilson in all my DFS. So I think he's going to go nuts. I think Miami's going to get up 20 plus. Their backup is out today in Miami, so he's inactive. So I think you're going to see a very healthy Jeff Wilson today.
Okay. So it's interesting that you have Chubb and Jonathan Taylor, and you're asking the question of who you start. I mean, that's a funny question just in itself. I don't think I could bench either one of them. They would be my two guys, and possibly Jeff Wilson in the flex. I don't know who your flex is, but I mean, those are three nice, really nice matchups that you have there. I would probably force feed them in because I don't think you can bench Jonathan Taylor. I mean, when he goes off, right? So, and
looking at matchups, they're playing Pittsburgh. I don't like that. I just don't like that. So I know it's easy for me to say because I don't have this choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to make this choice, but I would say Chubb and Wilson just because of the matchups. Or even Taylor, and I don't like Taylor against Pittsburgh, man.
I don't know, man. Steelers defense outside of J.J. Watt is not. I mean, J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt.
Yes, sir.
Not the best. I'm trying to get a look here on Sunday night. They're not showing Monday. They're not showing the Monday reports yet. So, Vita Veda is in though. So, Stevenson in the flex. Forgot to pull him before Thursday night.
No, you should have gotten 19 points for that, didn't you?
Not a bad thing. I just wouldn't get cute here, Alex. I would start your 1-2 there and go with that. So that's
just
my
remember
advice.
I said bench Taylor and play Wilson. I would probably I would.
I feel like it's one of those you're going to get cute and you're going to pay for it. So let's see. So let's keep rolling here. And the fact that Jeff Wilson is also learning a new offense doesn't,
And they're playing Houston.
They're
playing Houston today with a backup quarterback, not even their starter. That is a rough. Kyle Allen starting today. So
yeah. I mean, that is a good point. It sucks. You want to get Wilson in there somewhere, but if you really want to get Wilson in, I think you probably do pull Taylor out just because the Steelers defense is the best out of those three. I think right now it is a game in Indy, but it's also prime time, so teams are going to step up for that one. So. That's definitely a tough one. It is an embarrassment of riches.
I mean, you've got 4 really good running backs there. I mean, that's the great thing.
4 starting running backs. That's a good problem to have.
But if you bench the number 1 pick in fantasy and win this week, that's like a totally gangster move right there, man. That's a fantasy football gangster move. Right
That definitely is. I just want it's got to be that's got to be an auction league because there's no way you could have Chubb and Taylor.
Or a keeper, maybe.
Maybe a keeper, but man,
keeper league.
That's why I like auctions better than snake drafts. Because if I want Chubb and Taylor, I could go get Chubb and Taylor. Yeah. I pay whatever I need to get them. But if I want them, if those are my guys that I'm going to roll with this year, then it's going to happen. You know what I mean? So that I like auction drafts way better than snake drafts. So, all right. So with that said, so we got a couple nice targets in this game. Who do you have winning this game?
I still think Tampa. Everyone keeps saying this is a trap game. I don't know about that, but I think Tampa goes in and wins.
Okay.
What they won 3 in a row. Brady's passed his stuff. He's got all of his wide receivers back. I love White in the backfield.
Yes.
If Vita Vea is playing today, I mean, that defense is starting to play a little bit better. So give Tampa time to get healthy, and they're going to be a scary wild card team or hosting a wild card game come playoff time. That's it. I mean, who wants to see them, honestly, in the wild card? No one does.
Right. So. Well, I mean, that's even to say that they're not going to win the division.
Right.
Because now that division's terrible. I mean, the Saints are sitting at 4-7, Panthers 3-8, Falcons 5-6. I mean, now they're leading the charge. So it's going to be a NFC West a couple years ago, and was that a decade ago now when the Seahawks made it at like 7-9, and then beat the Saints.
And then beat the Saints. Yes, that was crazy.
Yeah, we want the ball and we're going to win. Yeah, it didn't work out too well after that. But, so I'm going to agree with you. I like the Bucs a lot. They're a 3-point favorite, over-under of 42, which I think is low for this game. But I would go the over on this one, but I would take Tampa and the 3 points.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. This is going to be an interesting one to watch here. And Alex said it earlier. It really sucks that Jamar Chase isn't back this week. I saw the news that he was practicing, got super excited because he was one of my go-to guys that in my auction drafts, like I spent up for because of what he did last year, and I thought they were going to build on that, and he was going to be the guy this year.
Right.
Not working out for me. But Joe Burrow's looking good. He's coming up on, well, yeah, he's going to go over 3,000 yards this game. Really nice. T. Higgins stepping right up. And Derrick Henry is back to Derrick Henry. He's over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, just steamrolling people like he does, right? So since he's a 1-point favorite, this is a home game for the Titans. And a big one for both, 6-4 for the Bengals, 7-3 for the Titans, and a low-scoring 42 over/under. Interesting. So what do you think about this one?
I think this is going to be a close game. Tennessee just always plays tough, man. I mean, that's a tough team to figure out. Yeah. They're going to end up, 12-5 again probably this year and be the worst, number 2 seed team ever. I just don't get it. But I think they'll play Cincy tough. I don't see a lot of points in this game. Mixon's out, so you got P. Ryan playing again. With Chase out, I know you got Higgins, I know you got Boyd, but that's a tough Tennessee D, man, that held Kansas City to 20 points 2 weeks ago. So,
right.
I still think Cincy will win, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tennessee won by a point or 3 points, whatever that spread is. I think it's going to be tough, but I'll probably say Cincy because of their offense. But Tennessee at home with Derrick Henry, I mean, that's a tough place to go play.
Yeah, you can't discount that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they do play very well at home. They're 3-1. And, yeah, like you said, they give Derrick Henry the ball. And can the Bengals defense stop him?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So this game comes down to Derrick Henry versus Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Two SEC beasts.
Yeah.
But then somehow Tannehill will have 380 yards passing and 4 touchdowns.
Right. It'll make no sense whatsoever. But I'm going to give it to the more well-rounded offense in this one because if they can, they should sell out on stopping Derrick Henry. If they could do that, I don't think Tannehill could match up with Burrow, and the Bengals can win this game. So it is a 1-point spread for Cincy. So Vegas is not confident one way or the other. I'm going to tilt the way of Vegas as well and give the Bengals a very tight victory here with, late field goal probably win the game, something like that. That seems to be the Bengals style, drive down at the last second and kick some crazy field goal and win it. So,
Mr. Jim, hello.
Yeah, I like it. What's up, bud? Yeah, we're just waiting for you to finish up and get on here. So as soon as you're done, so he's going Tennessee. All right, so he's on the other side of it. But all right, next game up is one we just talked about. I don't think we're going to need to spend a lot of time on these next couple, but Texans going to Miami. This should be an absolute
bloodbath.
14-point favorites.
I don't think that's a high enough spread to be.
I don't think it is either, unless they stop playing at halftime, maybe. But yeah, otherwise this should be absolutely horrific, and that kind of does lend into what we talked about earlier: is who plays in the second half, because this game could be 21-0 at halftime, and it just goes to the backups at that point.
Right. So.
To the Jeff Wilson Jr. conversation, there might not be anybody on the field that that. I mean, maybe, but if he's going to be your guy, I don't know if you just give everybody the day off.
So I think Miami wins. I'm in a tough spot. I drafted a little prematurely in my DFS leagues, and I took Waddle and Tua. I can take them out, of course, but I'm really concerned about the second half.
Yeah.
Really concerned. Am I going to get 4 quarters at Tua? No.
But
will he put up enough in the first half? But what if Wilson sneaks in a touchdown from the 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at Tua with a not so great number day, but it's not because they're stopping them. It's just they're going to run the ball.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's risky because this could be a game where Tua has 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it could be a game where he has 1. And they score 50 points. I don't know.
Right. But probably for both of their price tags, I mean that's That's a roll. That's a huge, huge risk. I would probably shift that a different
I was
direction.
contemplating going to the Justin Herbert side of the ball. Arizona gives up a lot of points. They don't stop anyone.
Yeah.
So potentially going to him, but we'll see. Because
You're not gonna-
Waddle's 7,300. So
You're not going to go with a. You did plug the Jets defense in everywhere, right?
So Joe, this is what I'm going to tell you, and I never lie to you because we've been friends a long time.
Yeah.
I had the Jets D in 4 days ago on Thanksgiving. I plugged the Jets in when I created both of these leagues 4 days ago. So
Smart man.
Even before I knew Fields was out.
Yeah, and Justin Nathan Peterman is the starting quarterback today for the Jets.
And I have Chicago plus 10 in one of my parlays.
Oh,
damn you, Scuba Steve. I made that bet when Fields was still playing. So
oh man,
bad on me. Losing a little bit of money today, but that's okay.
Can you buy out of it?
No, actually, I'm gonna go see right now because I hope to God I can.
Might want to cancel that bet with this news. Last time we saw Nathan Peterman play, he threw 5 interceptions for Buffalo.
Oh, that's going to be a disgusting game. An absolute disgusting.
Well,
game.
Not for the Jets defense though. So make sure you get them in.
No, I'm with you there. I am with you.
They're going to crush. But yeah, this Dolphins game, they're going to crush as well. So, but yeah, the big thing is what's going to happen in the second half. So also on the other side, it could be a very nice game for Nico Collins. Because they are going to have to throw the ball a lot. They're probably going to focus on Cooks and could allow you to really, really make some nice fantasy garbage time points with Nico Collins in this one. Yeah. So if you're desperate, you need a dart throw wide receiver, grab Nico Collins and plug him in because they're going to have to chuck the ball a lot. All right, so next up, obviously both taking the Dolphins to cover that 14, which I hate when you get into the double-digit spreads because it just becomes risky, but this is such a lopsided game. It's not even fair. All right, and Falcons at the Commanders. Interesting game here, right? Because the Commanders have been surprisingly hot as of the last 2 games, right? Still no Chase. The Falcons offense runs through Mariota's legs, unfortunately, right? And a little guy named Cordell Patterson, who everybody hates, but is absolutely unstoppable. And that goes back to that. Remember we just talked about it, but that collusion thing. The guy traded the first place guy, Pollard and Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And your team is getting, and he didn't get the return. He got Cortland Sutton and somebody else in return, and I was like, this is horse shit. Like, there's no way that you're making your team better by getting rid of Pollard and Cordell Patterson. But I lost. So anyway, but yeah, he runs the offense. He's awesome on the ground. Drake London, huge red zone threat. Otherwise, man, the Commanders look like a very well-balanced team. Not great on either side of the ball, but very competitive on both sides, right?
Absolutely. Washington's playing very good football. Heineke is the guy. Once you get Wentz out, they start winning. Imagine that. Feel bad for Wentz. I do. I don't want to see anybody lose their job or not play, but he'll be a good backup somewhere. But I like Washington today. I do. I like Scary Terry. I think Scary Terry's a great play.
Yeah.
Gibson, I'd be a little bit iffy about only because he splits with Robinson there. But I love Scary Terry DFS. In fact, I do have him in both of my things today in DFS. So
Heineke loves him too.
Oh, Heineke, he is. He throws him the ball 10 times a game. So
yeah.
Of targets alone, if he catches 50% of them, you're looking at least 5 points there, and then throw in 50, 60 yards and a touchdown. You're looking at a pretty good game, 17, 18 points a week from him. So
yeah,
I like Washington in this game, but it is in Atlanta, I believe, right? So that's it's in Washington. Never mind, Washington all the way.
Yes, Washington all the way. 3.5 points. I think they cover that. But it should be close. I'm going to give them like a 5-point victory, something like that. 40 points. This one, I mean, the games are so low. It's crazy. I don't even know how I would bet the over-under on this one because I think it's going to be very close to that. But, well, Falcons defense sucks. I'd probably take the over.
Yeah.
I'd take the over in this one.
I would.
40, that I think somebody will, yeah, it'll be like a, 20, 27, 24 type of game or something of that nature. But another shitty game coming up, Broncos traveling to the Panthers. 3-7 Broncos versus the 3-8 Panthers. This is an even line. Vegas doesn't even give a shit about it. It's a 36-point over-under. Not sure how that's possible unless it's the Jets-Patriots game. 36 points. That's insanely low, right? I'm not starting anybody in this game if you forced me to. I mean, that's basically just where I'm at. So I don't know if there's anything in this game that you're excited about or looking at. I mean, there's just, I guess Sutton is about the only viable.
Sutton, I would play in this game.
Maybe
he's a target monster, but that's it. I mean, you got Darnold starting for Carolina today. Yeah. Russell Wilson has just, I mean, talk about a guy that fell off that Mount Rushmore cliff he was on.
Man.
And I'm curious why. I mean, I don't know. It's just, and it's, they can say it's a different team, this and that, but he's short hopping balls. He's doing everything bad. So,
right.
I'll say Denver's defense is really, really good. In fact, my son's on Thanksgiving seen something that said if Denver was averaging 18 points a game scoring, they'd be 9-1 right now.
Right.
9-1.
Yeah.
So that
18
tells
points. That's it.
Yes, 18 points a game. It's just crazy. I would go Chiefs there, Alex, because you don't have Stafford today either. So,
yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I'm taking Denver because of the defense, and Sam Darnold will throw a couple picks. So, who knows? It could be a pick six here and there, but I see a couple picks.
Yeah. So, where Eagles versus the Packers home game Sunday night? Yeah, go with the Chiefs.
Going Chiefs. Backup quarterback in the Rams.
Yeah.
That's
and 1 and
Robinson
2 wide receivers is out.
Yeah, Robinson's out. Cup's out.
Yeah, so
get rid of everybody on the Rams in fantasy.
Yeah, your number one is Van Jefferson, I guess. So that's not where you want to go with a backup. So. Yeah, take the Chiefs. That's a nice one. Plus, a backup quarterback has to go into Arrowhead and try and win. Come on,
that's not happening.
No. That's a nice one there for that defense. Yeah. So this game, I agree with you. I think that's where it's going to go. Panthers defense isn't bad either. I mean, they've drafted defense for the last 2 years, but they're not the Broncos defense. Right. I would actually take the under on this game of 36, which is pathetic, but I think that's the way you have to bet it. And if you're taking an even split, give it to the better defense. Broncos go in and win this one. All right, so let's jump to the game that I should be super excited about, but I'm not. The Bears at 3-8, traveling all the way to beautiful new rainy 52-degree East Rutherford, New Jersey, to take on the 6-4 Jets with Mike White versus Nathan Peterson. This should be the Zach Wilson versus Justin Fields matchup. I was excited to watch this game when I saw it on the schedule, and now I feel deflated, unlike most Jets fans who are so in love with Mike White, their wives are jealous. Like, it's disgusting how much Jets fans are excited that Mike White is the starting quarterback. And it blows my mind, but it is what it is. I think he fucking sucks. And
how do you really feel? Tell us your feelings.
That's how I feel. I don't know how to censor it out live, but that's where I'm at. He had the one good game against Cincinnati, and now he's like the Boondock Saints. It's just like, he lives in legend now. He can't be dethroned, and they just forget about the 4 interception game he had against Buffalo a few weeks later, or when he got knocked out of the Colts game the next week. Like, he had a great game because nobody's ever seen him play a game before. Right. He had a bunch of short dump off passes that the receivers turned into big yards for him. He went over 400 yards, but because of that, not because he was throwing 40 yards, 50-yard touchdowns. It was, in the air. It was pathetic. And once teams got the film on what he can and can't do, and you saw it in Buffalo, they took away the short game, made him throw long, and he was just laying them out there for the defenses to take away. Now, this Bears defense is not Buffalo's defense by any stretch of the imagination. But if you know how to stop a quarterback and play a quarterback into your favor, the defense could play very well in this one. Again, on the other side, with Nathan Peterson starting this game, like, you're not concerned at all. The Jets defense is elite, absolutely elite defense.
Alex, I'm with you. Why not start Flacco? I would.
Yeah.
If you want to win, I'd start Flacco.
And the reason they can't start Flacco is because 3 weeks ago they elevated Mike White to the number 2 spot because they want to see if there's anything that they have with him. If he needed, they wanted to give him more reps in practice to see if there's anything there, which is, don't ask me why. But I agree with you. I would, if you want to win games, I'd rather see Joe Flacco in there because I think he has a better chance of winning this game. And he might be the second half starter when White throws 3 interceptions and
Chicago's winning.
Yeah. When it's 10-3 at halftime and Chicago's winning, Joe Flacco comes in and leads us to victory. So I do love Michael Carter in this matchup. The Bears defense is not good. They are the 5th best matchup for running backs this week. So they give up a lot of yards to running backs. James Robinson is out this week. So it is Michael Carter as the clear-cut number 1. Ty Johnson will spell him, but it's going to be a lot of Michael Carter in this one. Yep. And with a backup quarterback in, you like the running game. So really nice matchup. Doesn't have Zach Wilson. I expect a lot of running. And like I said, Mike White, short passes. He is going to look for Michael Carter a lot. I expect 8 to 10 catches from Michael Carter this week. And he'll go over 100 total easy. So he's going to be a dump off and a check valve for Mike White all day. So, yeah, go with him. But this game, I think, like you said, if the Jets don't win this game, bad things are going to happen. Very bad things are going to happen because this is now really a 6.5 point line should be bigger than that just from the defense alone. But another under 40 game, 38 points. And this is one where the Jets could blow it out against Peterson, but do you trust it? Would you go over or under in this one?
I would go under, to be quite honest. I think it's going to be a sloppy game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, sloppy game. Okay. Fields isn't out there. You got Peterman. I didn't even know he was still in the league. Mike White playing. My plus 10 bet, I feel actually pretty good with Chicago about that because you're right. If Mike White could really trash this team in the first half. He really could, if they do in fact bring in Flacco in the second. But I think a low-scoring game. I think like a 16-10 win for the Jets. I think the Jets have a much better defense. I think Michael Carter can control this game. If he doesn't get 25 to 30 carries today, and if White's throwing the ball a lot, boy, people need to start looking at Saleh and his crew with the play calling because this is a game where you better run that football. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens if White goes up and goes 19 of 21, 220 yards and a touchdown or 2, and the Jets win, 17-0? Yeah. What happens next week? Because I heard a stat today, Joe, and I told you I wasn't going to tell you until we got to this segment. On NFL Network today, do you know whose numbers Zach Wilson has through the first 20 games?
Sam Darnold's.
Not even that good.
Oh, no, Jamarcus Russell's.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
that's the person he's being compared to. I don't have to say anymore. I'm just going to leave it there, and I'll look at the fantasy talk. I just wanted to drop that grenade, Joe, in the room and
it's funny how stats change, right? Because 2 weeks before that, against Josh Allen, they put up their stats through their first 18 games, and they were nearly identical in every yards, completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio. Everything was almost identical. 2 weeks later, he's being compared to Jamarcus Russell.
Joe, I'm a Pats fan. I'm going with the Jamarcus Russell.
I know.
All right,
I know. Everybody is, Jets fans included. I'm the only one that's sticking with it. I'm going to hold my line. Zach Wilson's my ride or die. Like I'm getting fired as the coach, or we're going to turn this thing around. But either way,
to me, you have to. He's not even suiting up today. He's not even dressing. I mean,
no, I don't understand it.
What the hell's going? I love that New York, when they're 6-4, and somehow they still find a way to fuck up their season.
I know.
You know what? I love this. I love it. I love Jets turmoil.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. All right, let's get to obviously. So we're both taking the Jets.
I'm taking the Jets. Jets 16-15.
Yes, Jets, and a heavy dose of Michael Carter. So Trey, that's going to answer your second question there. Michael Carter
all the way. I don't like Cincy at Tennessee. I think that's too tough of a D. Let's see. Wow. So you got CMC, so you have to play CMC.
Yeah. So full PPR. I'm leaning number 3 there, which is the risky move, right? But ETN against the Ravens defense. I mean, that Ravens defense is looking pretty damn good, and that makes me a little bit nervous there to try and stop him. ETN though has been almost unstoppable, really, since James Robinson's kind of faded out and then disappeared, and ETN's been running outstanding. But that defense is looking really, really good, especially with the addition of Roquan Smith there for bringing him in. Very nice addition, and that defense is really coming in their own. Makes me very nervous. Full PPR. Rachaad White does catch out of the backfield as well. So, and I know watching ASU games, man, he is going to explode. I've been waiting.
He's going to go nuts tonight.
And I really wish I would have added him just as a speculative play a couple weeks ago, because he's been getting a little bit more of the workload. But I loved watching him at ASU, and I did watch a lot of ASU games. Being an ASU alum now, I can say that, which is awesome.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Very good job.
So I'm going to go CMC and Rachaad White, full PPR.
I would too. Now I am playing ETM Trey in a few of my season-long leagues only because I have to. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I don't think he's going to have a bad game.
No.
You got to look at matchups here, man. Wilson should get 25 carries today. There's nobody behind him. Sony Michel, 2 carries, please. Yeah. And Rachaad White, they're talking about Vaughn, what's his name there? The backup there.
I don't even know who the number 3 is.
Yeah, so whoever the number 3 is isn't going to get Rachaad White went nuts in Germany. And I'm with Joe. I think he's going to – Brady loves throwing to running backs. Mm-hmm. Loves it. I'm telling you right now, Rachaad White and Wilson. I got them both in
to me, he's a bigger version of a –
Can you see it? You probably can't see it, but there is White and Wilson in there.
He's a bigger version of a different – how should I say this politically correct? Running back named White that he had in New England.
Oh, James White, yes.
Yes.
Mr. White, yes, absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Very, very similar.
I didn't want to say another white guy that he had, but
White wasn't James White wasn't a 3-down back though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's a 3-down back. Yeah.
He's a bigger version,
absolutely,
of James White.
Yes, absolutely.
He's got the hands, but he's also got more of the build to handle, absorb more of that. Because that was a bad thing with James White, outstanding hands out of the backfield. But if you needed him to step in, you're losing him at halftime.
Right.
He's getting hurt almost every time. So Yeah, I would definitely go with that, Trey. Sorry, that was a really long-winded answer, but that was a great question. Thank you for
Great
getting that in.
problem to
That
have
was
too, man. Great problem to have.
definitely is. It definitely is. All right, so where were we? Okay, yeah, so we can actually transition right into this game. So next up is Ravens 7-3 at the 3-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. Baltimore only a 3.5 point favorite. 43 over under in this one, which is actually very close to what I would expect in this. 80 degrees. It's going to be hot there in Jacksonville and thunderstorms. So we'll see how that affects the game. But do you think Vegas is taking that into account for only a 3.5 point favorite for the Ravens? The weather, the heat? Is the heat going to.
I mean, Baltimore has Lamar. We all agree, probably a top 5 quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. Who do they have after that? They have Mark Andrews. Yep. That's their lone target.
Yeah.
Everybody else is hurt. Duvernay is like their number 1.
Yeah, he's
Gus
back.
Edwards is hurt, I think.
Nope, active.
So Gus Edwards is back. So you got him and Drake.
Yep.
But do those guys scare you?
No.
And Jacksonville can put up points. Now, their defense will blow it at the end like they always do.
Yes.
But I think it's going to be a rather close game. I do. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Okay. So who do you like?
Do you
think
Baltimore.
They upset?
No, I like Baltimore because I think their defense is a lot better than Jacksonville's. And I think Jacksonville, year 3 with Trevor Lawrence next year will be, I think, a team we're talking about similar to the Jets as far as winning. So I like Baltimore in this game, but yeah. I think it's still going to be very close. I stayed away from this one in betting. Absolutely stayed away from it.
Okay. So I'm going to agree with you on this one. This is pretty simple. They're the better team. They're going to win this one, but seeing how much they struggled with Carolina last week makes me a little bit trepidation there to push all the chips in on this one, even though people would want to. So, but yeah, give me Baltimore to take this one. I think they handle it, but yeah, I expect a competitive game on both sides, and we'll see what Trevor Lawrence has. Still gets no heat for a 3-win season, but
it's because it's Jacksonville.
I know nobody knows. Nobody even knows where Jacksonville's located. Once they figure that out, then they can actually go down there and start.
Jacksonville, Georgia. Jacksonville, Georgia.
I think it's in. Yeah, is it West Virginia or Illinois or? Yeah, nobody's quite sure. Anyway, all right. So, Wambly. Hopefully, first time listener. I don't recognize that.
Recognize the name, but
thank you for joining. Expect. Hopefully we see you back a lot more. Subscribe and like it. Love to see you back each week, man. This is a good one. We talked about Tua a little bit earlier. Tua or Herbert in this one. And I think we're going to both agree after our last discussion. But the fact that this game might be over at halftime really makes Tua a very high-risk play. Yes. And John, like you said, Arizona does not like to play defense so much as offense. So Justin Herbert's in a nice spot this week. Alex is probably jumping up and down right now because we're giving the Chargers some love, but I think you have to go Herbert, unless the only way I could say otherwise is if you need like a huge win because that defense doesn't exist for the Texans. Right. So if you're like a huge underdog and you need a 4-touchdown game and you really have to roll the dice, you could go with Tua, but it just feels like one of those games where you don't see very many starters in the second half.
Right.
Now watch, that's going to completely prove us wrong. The Texans are going to come play their asses off. Probably. This game, they're going to be up, 20 to 7 going into halftime or something like that, and it's going to completely destroy everything that we just said. But
it normally does. Normally does.
Yes, but you kind of have to. You got to go with. I mean, Vegas is saying a 14.5 point favorite, so they know just as well. So I think that's just the way you have to go.
I'm going with Herbert because I think both teams are going to score. I do. Yeah. Kyler Murray's back. Connor's been running well. D-Hop's running well.
And Marquise Brown is back.
Is he playing today, though? It still showed IR in one of my fantasy leagues.
Nope, he's back.
Okay, so Brown is back too. So I mean, you get a lot of options right there, a whole lot of options. So
agreed.
yeah, why is he only projected at 9 points?
I don't know, but it says he's back. Rondell Moore is out. Marquise Brown is back and will be in the mix for targets. Maybe because it's his first game back, they don't really know where to put him. But and Keenan Allen's fully healthy finally.
Yeah.
And Josh Palmer's been coming in to his own as well. With Mike Williams is out. I don't like Mike Williams. I told Alex this as well. I think they overpaid drastically for him because yes, he can catch 3 touchdowns, but expect him to miss like 5-6 games a year. But he could also go catchless in a game. So like they paid him a ton of money for his potential, but his floor does not match what they paid him. I don't think so. All right, so let's keep going here. Edward, good morning, man. Thank you for the question. So we got a full PPR pick. Jeff Wilson again, Rashid White, Godwin, or Kamara. So we got 2 out of this. So that's a good one. Another good one, man. Rashid White just keeps popping up, and I think you have to go with him. It's too good of a situation there. So,
honestly, I would go. I don't like 2 players on the same
so
team. I don't like 2 players on the same team, and I like Rashid White a lot more. I think Godwin will get it, but I mean, Brady has a lot of receivers to throw to, including White. Yeah. I'm going Wilson and White. I don't like the Kamara matchup against San Francisco. He has a good game every now and then, but I'd take Kamara out. I'd leave it to the first 3. I'd go Wilson and White, man, because I just think they're going to touch the ball more.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that's the right play just for volume wise. I mean, Kamara is also the focal point there, but like you said, that San Francisco defense, they have to travel all the way to the West Coast, so that's a long flight. It's an afternoon game, so they get a little bit of time, but I don't trust that one as much as the volume that you're going to see from Jeff Wilson. Right. So I think that's the right call. Go with Wilson. Go with White, especially in a full PPR. Going to get a lot of touches there. Let's see. Bolter must win territory. Where are we at here? Let me scroll.
Full PPR, Boyd or Sanders? I find this one of the tougher decisions I've had to make here all year. So part of my problem with Mr. Sanders, and I have him in a few of my leagues, he is really, really hit or miss. In fact, I'm sitting Sanders over McCaffrey, Etienne, and Rachaad White today in one of my leagues. Boyd, I don't have. I mean, the last 2 games for Sanders, 5.4 and 5.8 points, and he's getting 13 carries. So that scares me. Yeah. And that was against Washington and Indy. And Green Bay doesn't have a bad defense. I know they give up a lot of points, but they really don't have a terrible defense. It's in Green Bay. It's a primetime game again, isn't it?
Yes, it is primetime, but
it is. So
no, it's in Philly. It's in Philly.
It's in Philly. Yeah, true. I would go Boyd.
Do you have any other options? Because Boyd is just as hit or miss. I have Boyd, and I plug Boyd in. Boyd can get you 3 touchdowns, or it could all go to T. Higgins. That's the bad thing in this one is like Boyd completely just bent me over the rail yesterday or last week. He didn't do anything in that game, and even the one before that with the Joe Mixon game was, I mean, just gone, disappeared. So that makes me nervous. So John, I'd like to know like what else is out there, like waiver wire wise. There's got to be some other options.
Nobody on the waiver wire, I guarantee you, would have a bigger upside than Boyd or Sanders. To me, it's just. I would probably start Boyd. I would. I'd probably start Boyd. I mean, that's a good 5. I don't like Jones. I'm sitting Jones today too.
All right. Well, I guess if you have to go Boyd for the upside, but man, he could very easily just do nothing. It makes me very, very nervous. Kyler, have a great day against Chargers Swiss cheese defense. It's not that they're Swiss cheese; it's just that they're all dead. Yeah. So. Wambly, good luck, man. Yes, definitely. Hope to see you next week. And I think you made the right call. Hopefully we helped you out. not really any more options. Starting Aaron Jones, Rashid White, Olave, and Godwin. Okay,
that's a good team right there.
That is nice, but that goes into your trap there of a running
players.
back and wide receiver, which means one should feast and the other one might famine. So I run into that a lot because I, by mistake, in one of my auction ones, and I wasn't really paying attention, and my own fault, but I ended up with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, which has worked out nicely, but it is one eats and the other one doesn't. You know what I mean? Like it's been rough. It wasn't the best matchup, but luckily Justin Jefferson is really, really good. So he has really helped me out quite a bit. So, but yeah, I'm trying to just check the waivers to see like any ideas that might be out there. I don't know. Like if I don't know what Josh Palmer's ownership is. He might be a nice play. Corey Davis might not be a bad play either. He's back fully healthy this week.
I mean, if Flacco was playing, honestly, I'd say go after like some of the Jets wide receivers, but I don't trust Mike White. I don't. They should be running the ball a lot today. A lot.
Should be. Man. Yeah, I mean that's a tough situation. Again, Nico Collins. I'm gonna go with.
I like it.
I'm gonna say that could be one to look in, John. I don't think anybody's gonna own Nico Collins, and like we were just talking about, if it's a blowout in Miami, they're gonna have to throw the ball a lot. So just from a volume standpoint, that might not be a bad play to grab Nico Collins and see if you can get some stuff there.
Sounds like John's in like a 12-team league and probably like one of those 3 wide receiver league in a flex type league is what it seems like.
Yeah,
if I had to guess,
could be. But Nico Collins might be out there.
Right.
I mean, he's pretty far down there. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So yeah, if you can't, go with Boyd. He has the best upside for a multiple touchdown game. So Alex, hey man, I was waiting for you to get a question in. So Olave, Watson, or Metcalf. That's interesting. Watson has absolutely become the clear cut for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't know. They must have like went to dinner or maybe like a go-kart track or something and bonded. I don't know what they did exactly. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers likes to do for fun except for complain about other things. But that's a great situation. Olave is still the clear number one. Metcalf, huge upside potential there week in and week out. And Watson for the last 2 games has been the guy. So, man, but you love to pick on the Raiders defense.
I would probably go either Olave against San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
I'd go Metcalf, man. I think they're just going to score more points in that game. I do. I think they're going to score more points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. I don't know if I trust Watson against Philly, you know.
I want to look up his last 2 games specifically. 30 points and 19 points his last 2 games. Philly is a much tougher defense, though. Man, that's a good one. That is a really good one. You already got Collins. All right. Yeah. I mean,
I'll be right back.
I'd probably. Yeah, Alex, I would go with Metcalf in this one. I mean, Watson's going to be super risky going up against that top defense. Olave is a very nice plug and play each week, but Metcalf has a really good chance of going off against that Raiders defense. Is just bad. So I would go Metcalf in that one. Yeah, John, I'll be interested to see how that one. I'm going to keep an eye on this one and see how it plays out. If you've got Collins, I don't know why. I just have a feeling he is going to do something this week. Really, nothing more than that. I just feel like the matchup is right, and if they shift to Brandon Cooks to try to cover Brandon Cooks, I think Collins is in a very nice spot to get a lot of love. But like you said, going quarterback wise, yeah, Boyd has got a much better quarterback. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. See how this one plays out, but best of luck, absolutely. Hopefully you still win it and crush some stuff. All right, so let's jump back. Obviously, holy crap, it is 5 minutes till Not sure how that happened.
Because we're having fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, we wrapped up all those games, so let's go through our afternoon games. We'll highlight and make some picks real quick. So Chargers and the Cardinals, 5-5, 4-7. That is a home game for Arizona and a 48-point over/under. Expecting a lot of scoring in this one.
I'd take the over in that one, I think.
You're going to go over? I think so.
Yeah,
I think that's the right.
I would bet the over, and I'd go Chargers.
Chargers?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to take the over as well, but I'm going Arizona. So give me those 2.5 points.
You in Arizona.
I know. It's a home game. It's risky. They don't like to play at home, but the Chargers defense is so bad right now. All right. Raiders, Seahawks. I think we're sticking with the Seahawks to continue to win somehow.
I'm sure somehow it will go wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Wow, and it says it's 46 today and partly sunny. Yeah, looks about right. So cold up here in the Northwest. It sucks. All right, Rams and Chiefs. That's an easy. Chiefs, 15.5 points, pushing that to 20.
All the way, yes.
So there, I just have to point this out real quick. The Chiefs are a 15.5 point favorite. The over/under is 42. So.
Right. What do they think that score is going to be?
I don't know. 38-0? I don't know. It's pathetic. All right. Saints 49ers. Niners are 9-point favorites in this one.
Yes.
I think they take that pretty easily.
Yep.
Okay. And let's go to the night game. Packers traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. Can the Pack upset? 6.5 point favorites for Philly.
No.
Philly. Okay. So Eagles win that one. Bounce back from that loss against Washington, you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. I agree with you, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers somehow win this one.
Yeah, me too. It's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And then the much hyped and anticipated Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Indianapolis Colts, 3-7 Steelers versus the 4-6-1 Colts. 39-point game coming up for us on Monday night. Who do you got in this one?
Steelers.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go with the Colts. I don't trust it, but I do want to see Kenny Pickett have a great game because I got that card I need. So, all right, let's get another question in. We got 2 minutes. I traded, or I don't know if this is a question. I traded Henry and D-Hop for Cook. I'm guessing Dalvin type, right? Kamara and CD. How do you feel about the trade? I mean, Henry is better than both of those running backs, probably combined right now. CD, I mean, CD is he's my man crush. Like, if you've watched the show at all, which I don't know if you have, but hopefully you subscribe and you do for a very long time. But I love CD Lamb. He balled out Thursday as well. He looked really good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like CD. I like D-Hop. I don't know. I mean,
I think wide receiver, it's kind of a wash because I think they're both target monsters. I don't like Cook and Kamara this year. I don't know when you made the trade, but obviously it was probably somewhat early when D-Hop was hurt. So I don't think you would have traded D-Hop when he was healthy. Yeah. So you probably gave up at the time Henry for 3 starters. So probably at the time when you made it, Steez, I'm sure it was a good trade. Now, probably looking back, I think you got the short end of the stick on the running back side, but that's just me.
Well, the only thing I would agree with you, dependent on who your number 2 running back was. Like if you didn't have a number 2 running back and now your 1-2 running backs are Cook and Kamara and CD, like that's not a bad trade. But if you had Henry and anybody, an actual number 2, but if you were rolling with like anybody less than like Dameon Pierce as your number 2, you probably did pretty good for yourself.
Right.
Oh,
I mean, it's not a terrible trade by any means. It's just
no.
I think you gave up a lot with Derrick Henry, but I'm willing to bet you made that, or did you make that at the same time that D-Hop was still on suspension? So,
right. Yeah, that would be my only thing is who was your number 2?
Yeah.
Because now you probably upgraded your number 2 spot with Cook or Kamara over Henry, but then you downgraded your 1 spot from Henry. But see what probably helped your overall team, but losing Henry is a huge impact. But All right, so there we go. It is 10 o'clock. It is 1 o'clock for you guys on the
game time.
East Coast, and a certain time in between there, depending on where you are in the country. But for everyone, best of luck this week. Hopefully we helped you. Hopefully we gave you some good advice. Definitely going to keep an eye on that Boyd Collins matchup. But yeah, best of luck for your fantasy. Best of luck for your teams. And until next week, for John, I'm Joe. We'll see you guys then.